What makes a tennis match truly unforgettable? Is it the power of a big serve? Is it the skill of a perfect shot? Or is it that one moment when everything looks finished and then somehow everything changes? That is the magic of a comeback. Tennis is one of the few sports where a player can look completely beaten and then rise again point by point. 1 second, the crowd is sure it is over. The next second, they are on their feet, staring in shock at what they are seeing. That is why tennis comebacks hit so hard. They do not just change the score, they change the feeling of the whole match. They change fear into hope. They turn silence into noise. They turn pain into belief. And sometimes, they create the kind of moment that fans talk about for years. Have you ever watched a match and thought there is no way this player can come back now? Maybe they were down 2 sets. Maybe they were injured. Maybe they had lost control and looked mentally broken. Maybe the other player looked too strong, too calm, too close to winning. In tennis, that feeling comes fast because every point matters, every mistake feels bigger, every missed chance can hurt like a punch. There is no clock to save you. There are no teammates to hide behind. It is just one player, one racket, one mind, and endless pressure. That is what makes a comeback in tennis feel so special. The player has nowhere to run. They have to stand there, face the pressure, and fight their way back with their own hands. That is also why fans love these matches so much. A comeback is not just about winning, it is about surviving. It is about holding on when almost everyone thinks the story is over. It is about refusing to disappear. Some of the craziest tennis comebacks began when a player looked finished. Their face looked tired, their body looked slow, their shots were missing, their confidence was gone, but deep inside, something stayed alive. A small bit of belief, a little spark. And in tennis, sometimes that tiny spark is all a player needs. One great point can change the mood. One break of serve can create pressure. One missed shot from the player in front can open the door, and once that door opens, the whole match can turn upside down. The scary thing about tennis is that momentum can change without warning. A player can control a match for 2 hours and still lose it. They can dominate the early sets, win the big points, and look calm, only to suddenly feel the pressure when victory gets close. That is where the mind becomes everything. Tennis is not only a sport of movement, it is a sport of nerves. The closer a player gets to winning, the heavier the moment can feel. Their arm gets tighter, their decision-making gets slower, their confidence starts to shake. Meanwhile, the player who is losing may begin to play free. They stop thinking too much. They start swinging with courage. They start believing again. And when belief returns, tennis becomes dangerous. Because now the match is no longer about who started better. It becomes about who can handle the storm. That is why the matches in this video are so powerful. These are not simple wins. These are stories of players who looked trapped and still found a way out. Some were down by a huge margin. Some were close to losing in front of thousands of people. Some looked physically done. Others were fighting against more than just the score. They were fighting pressure, fear, doubt, noise, and history. But somehow, they kept going. They stayed alive, 1 point at a time. And that is often how great comebacks happen. Not with one giant moment, but with many small moments. A strong serve when the pressure is high, a brave return on breakpoint, a long rally won through pure heart, a deep breath before a second serve, a player telling themselves, just win this point, then the next, then the next. What makes these matches even more shocking is that fans can feel the change before they fully understand it. First, there is surprise, then there is tension, then the crowd starts to believe. The player who looked finished is suddenly standing taller. Their feet move quicker, their shots land deeper, their eyes look different. The other player begins to look confused. Their easy points disappear. Their body language changes. And now the stadium feels different. You can feel it through the screen. You can hear it in the crowd. Something is shifting. Something is breaking. The player who seemed dead in the match is alive again, and now nobody knows what will happen next. That feeling is what makes comeback tennis so addictive. It is not clean. It is not simple. It is messy, emotional, and full of pressure. It shows the most human side of sport, because every comeback tells us something real. It tells us that confidence can return. It tells us that pressure can crush even the strongest player. It tells us that one bad moment does not always decide the ending. And maybe that is why fans connect with these stories so deeply. They are not just watching shots go over a net. They are watching struggle. They are watching a person refuse to give up when the easy path is gone. They are watching someone choose fight over fear. And the best part is this. Some of the comebacks we are about to talk about did not just shock the crowd in the stadium, they shocked millions of fans around the world. These were the kinds of matches where people stopped what they were doing just to watch the ending. The kinds of matches where commentators could hardly believe their own voices. The kinds of matches where the player who was supposed to lose changed the whole story in front of everyone. These moments remind us why tennis can be so cruel, but also so beautiful. Nothing feels safe until the final point is won. Nothing feels certain until the handshake at the net. So stay with me until the end of this video, because the comeback stories ahead are wild, emotional, and hard to believe. Some of them looked impossible. Some of them changed careers. And one of them showed exactly why tennis fans never stop watching too early. Because in this sport, even when the end looks clear, the story may only just be starting.